So I was talking with a fellow veteran, a buddy of mine, and they brought up the question: how does the 10% of traders that are successful in the stock market or in trading altogether actually become successful? And me, I came from the retail side, being an everyday trader, individual, to now an institutional investor and trader, owning my own hedge fund. And there's a lot of things that the public is starting to know and figure out, but in the past it was always a system against you. Um, I was explaining that as you have this cycle of money. Um, think of it like in a big circle, and within that circle, you have algorithm bots. You have people with a very, very, very large budget and capital or assets under management, and they do stuff within that circle. And what I'm getting at is it's literally a cycle, an exchange of funds all day long, liquidity. So where someone wins, there's actually someone else's wealth being taken from them. And when you really think about that, it just doesn't make, it's not morally right. It's a battle of who has the biggest wallet, the more sophisticated schemes, and the entire market is supposed to be devoted to your retirement. And so, when I got into the retail, or when I got into the institution side, I really had to think, how can I do this in a moralistic, or having morals, and go about it in that kind of approach. And I want to take a little bit of time to change up the vision of this channel. You know, for years I've been showing how to trade stock options, how to trade stocks, read charts, use indicators, and then I have also put in some crypto lately. And we know the utility behind crypto and where it's going. But to get back on the meaning of this video is 10% of traders, that's all who's successful. And I think it comes down to the mentoring, doing the correct things. Don't have to be all the time. I've always said you could lose 60% of the time, and the 40% that you actually do win, as long as those wins are much bigger than the percentage of losses, you still actually win and you become profitable. So they had asked, how do you read charts? When's the best time to get in? When's the best time to get out? And my answer is always, it's like a wave coming in to shore. You don't always have to get, well, as a surfer you probably will correct me, but you don't always have to get in at the highest peak and the lowest point and have the maximum profit. I mean, if you try to do that, you are going to lose. There's just no entire way to beat $1 trillion market. But if you can pull from that multi-trillion-dollar market pieces by pieces by pieces every single day, you can earn a living from it. And you can retire and go off and do whatever you want to. But the goal is to ride the waves, to get to know how a crypto coin or a company or a stock trades and figure out patterns and trends. For the longest time, I was telling my group in the Discord channels and Facebook groups that crypto had become a weekend warrior. The weekends it would kind of die off around Saturday night, maybe even Thursday. Actually, I think it was Thursday nights, and it would eventually just die off. And maybe that was because people were getting into the weekends, so they would stop trading. But then around Monday evening, Tuesday night, or maybe Tuesday morning, you would start to see crypto take off again. It became volatile again, and lots of volume would come in. And it was always scalping little trades by little trades. And the best way to put it is you can put in 10 grand and make 1% and be done for the day. I don't want to say very easy, but in the end, it really is easy. And you can do that 100 times. And this is not financial advice. This is educational purposes only, and my experiences of what I've done. But I'm just being real. You can do that 100 times. And what's that amount to? 100%. So if you take 365 days, and crypto does trade 365 days minus some hours that it, I think Bitcoin and a couple others, it dies off and it shuts down. Some of the exchanges shut down, and then they reopen back up within an hour or two. But if you take 365 days, and 200 days are just left without trading, that gives you 100 opportunities, or 100 days, to make 100%. And that's double your profit, or double your portfolio. So the other mindset is the waves, right? Everything trades and begins to form patterns. And if you can just pick up on that, I only trade maybe 1 to 2, maybe sometimes at best 3 coins, and I earn an income from it. And what we do over a hedge fund, it's not a solicitation or anything. I can't solicit, but we pretty much have the liquid token fund, and that's what we do. We trade. I used to be a long-term investor, but if you take a look at the aspects of people that have their 401ks and they've been demolished lately, inflation goes up, the cost of living, the power of the dollar shrinks, and ever since then, the dollar has really become just worthless, pennies. And then you have this new asset of crypto coming in, and it's pretty much a hedge against inflation. You can be down, or the coin can be down 20% one day and then up 40% the next. And if you grab just a little bit of that, you're doing better than the average American that's stuck in the 401k and in the traditional markets. And it does piss me off for the fact that our government, who oversees the financial institutions and the financial system, it's always to protect you. But in reality, what are they protecting? You have traditional finance advisors or traditional advisors, financial advisors, that are stuck in these BS REITs, the ETFs, the mutual funds that everyone gets sold to, and inside, it's one big manipulation scheme that they've all developed where they get benefits and pass credits over to one another, and it's just BS. They're there to protect you and to look over your wealth. And look at your 401ks today, and then look at how much time it will take to regenerate those profits, and then by the time you're ready to retire, what do you have left over? So I'm taking a different perspective to this channel to really dive into things that I've learned, things that bother me, the things that I care about, and really discuss those. I'm just tired of living in a bubble. I've had to change my whole life around to really adjust to my mental health, to live a simpler and more better quality of life. And with this discussion, that they had with me, they really wanted to know how, back on topic. I'm sorry, I get off topic, but to really get to know how the 90% or why the 90% fails and the 10% profits. And I think you have to know every aspect of this market. You just can't jump into a coin and start trading it and expect to be profitable. In options, you can't expect to jump in options and just say, if I sell a put, chances are, you probably will sell the put and get cash if you sell it at the right strike price. But then you have to read the charts, know the historical volatility, the IV rank, right, as of that moment in time when you get in it, and then your deltas, and know, the delta is the probability of being in the money or out of the money. It's essentially being in the money. If it's a 30 delta, it has a 70% chance of not being in the money and a 30% chance of being in the money. And it took me probably a good solid 5 years of literally waking up 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., maybe 8 a.m., maybe sometimes 9 a.m., and really just learning everything that I could on a particular topic about options. And so it took me, and I still educate myself, but it takes that long, at least for me it did. 5 years, 3 hours a day, to really grab a hold of the options world. And then I got into crypto. So I've seen multiple people do YouTube videos. I was really just watching Alex Becker a little bit ago, and he was explaining that if you're in your 30s, time goes by fast. You have one life to live, and I make it the best that you can. It's a struggle to be successful, but the key is starting now. You can't start tomorrow. You can't start next month. I kept making excuses on my YouTube, and I see all these YouTubers, they just got better. You look at their earlier videos, and they do horrible at first. And I told myself, I need the best equipment. I need the best of camera. I need the best of audio. Eventually, I worked my way up to it. I did other things to earn revenue, traded, the hedge fund. I hustled on other projects too. But just grind it out. You can't say and make excuses that I'm going to do it next month or I'm going to do it next year. You need to start today. 38 years old, and I look back and I should have done this stuff in my 20s. I look at certain YouTubers and they're flourishing. And it's not all about the glitz and the glamour on camera. It's helping other people. And I'm resorting to YouTube, and it's a late start, don't get me wrong, to really open up about the parallel between the retail side, the everyday individual investor, and the small fish, to the big whales that the new terminology is used, and to this institutional side that I started dabbling in. It's a whole nother ball game. And everyone that I'm going to reach out to in this video, I want you to really take the time. If you're really serious about your wealth and the accumulation of it, you've got to start looking at what you're doing now and what you're doing wrong and how to speed up that process. And I'm not saying, again, this is not financial advice, but I just want you to take it serious and get with your financial advisor and ask them to give you a list of what they're into and how much cash, a percentage of cash that they have on the side. And in this down moment, this bear market that we've seen, and it's starting to go up, so it might be a little different, but a lot of financial advisors, they don't really make the money with being in cash positions. They make it by being sold to these EFTs, these mutual funds. I almost got NFTs and EFTs mixed up, and I was making sure I got that right. But they get you into these positions, and they are moderate to conservative risk. But then when a market comes like this, your portfolio drowns in chaos, and you're left stranded asking your financial advisor, what do you do? And they say, hang in there. They don't make their money in cash. With crypto, not financial advice by any means, but you can stake it into an exchange or warm wallet. Cold wallet is with a ledger. But you can stake it. And you can let these exchanges provide liquidity, get them into other assets and projects that they're involved in, similar to what we see in the traditional banking side. In the traditional banking side, a high interest yield is maybe 0.02. And then you take a look at some of these exchanges and they're offering 2%. Two solid points, not a lot. Or in the earlier days of Nexo.io, they were earning or yielding 10%. 10%, $1 million, 100,000 without any headache at all. Let them do their thing, and in return, they would give you 10%. Now, they were making probably 20, 30, 40% off of that. But they're sophisticated enough, taking the risk, and they're giving you 10%. So with that being said, you don't see that in the traditional mindset or the traditional markets. I think crypto is a very sophisticated market with a lot of intelligence in the younger generations and even the older generations. I didn't want to say elderly, but there are your elders in this space that have walked away from the traditional side. And the blockchain is more innovative when it comes to being able to financially set yourself up in a freedom nature or become financially free. So all I'm saying is that the 10% that lose have had bad mentors, or they dive in there and do stupid shit that I can't stand, and then the statistics are already against you. So in the upcoming videos, I want you guys to go ahead and ask me, any questions so that I can build content from there and give a whole new perspective on my channel. I don't want to just read charts all day. I think chart reading, it takes a skill. It takes years and years of practice. I'm staying humble. I don't want this to come off cocky, but it is taking me 12 years to be able to read a certain chart and get the feel of when to get in and when to get out. And like I said, I can be at times, be out at the highest point, get back in at the lowest point. But that's years of looking at charts and just collecting my thoughts and trusting my gut. And that's what I tell people. Trust your gut. A lot of emotions are wrapped up in the very first time you switch from paper trade over to real-time trading, because the paper trading, that is, you can just hit reset. But with your real money, once you see $1 lost, it's gone. And how do you make it back up? And as you progress, you get more comfortable with throwing $500 in, 1,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, millions. Becomes second nature. It's almost like saying the Pledge of Allegiance or basic arithmetic. 1 + 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Becomes just second nature. So I think that's the statistics that people look at. Yes, they are against you. Don't let that demotivate you and keep you out of this realm of trading and investing, because it can be in your favor if you choose wisely. And if you study correctly and really take the time to put in the investment in yourself before you ever trade your first dollar. And you will make mistakes. It's a business. If you lose 10 grand, you put in 10 grand, you may lose, or if you put in 10 grand, you may lose 2 grand, but then the very next day you may be up 8,000. So don't let it deter you for making mistakes. We all made mistakes. I still make mistakes. Sometimes I lose money, and then the very next day I'm back in it, and it's motivating, and I don't quit. I remember the first time I lost money, it was in a call option on Google. I got in, and 15 minutes I was down $500, and I closed out. And if I had stayed in, I came back later after I took a breather and I left my office in disgust. I would have actually been up $1,200. So never give up. I'm taking a different perspective on this channel, and I really want to get in depth of, again, running the parallel between the retail and now the institutional side and help you guys. I got to watch what I say, but I'm always going to say it's not financial advice. It's for the mere educational side of it. So anyways, ask those questions in the comments, and I'll be making more videos, and I want you guys to like, subscribe, and help me grow this channel, because I think this is what needs to be said. There needs to be a realm of a fire, coffee and fire talk or whatever, fireside chat. But I'm really here to help you guys. I think that we, as an overall whole in this industry, we need to work together, and especially on the blockchain. So anyways, I'm going to leave you with that. I hope some of this video has helped you really gain a whole new insight of the market. And I want you guys to come to me with any help that you may need. That's what I'm here for. So anyways, that's pretty much it. And I guess I'll see you